Talking fork.
Welcome, everyone, to episode number 97 of Talking Kentucky. My name is Coleman Scott. His name is Caden Holmes. I'm here on a beautiful night in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Caden is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I'll get it right this episode. I won't say Hanson, Kentucky this time, Caden. And I'm going to be up that way here in a little bit. I guess this time next week, I'm going to be up in Bowling Green, visiting you, Caden, coming home to Kentucky for a couple months for the summer. So that'll
Hopefully
be
put
nice.
a few steaks on the grill.
Oh, we're gonna go to some White Squirrel. We're gonna put some steaks on the grill. It's gonna be
hopefully Cody is gonna be here. Or I guess he is gonna be here because he supposedly already got the steak. So we'll have the master smoker / griller in attendance. So it'll be good.
Obviously me, you, and Cody have been in the same place on the screen before, but have me, you, and Cody ever been together in the same room before?
Have you ever met Cody?
I don't know that I've ever met Cody in person, like in the flesh. I don't know that I've met him.
So be the first then.
Now, for these steaks, are we going to use forks to eat these steaks? Is that part of the plan? Is that why there's a fork in your background, Caden?
Well, unless you want to eat a steak with a spoon, yeah, we probably will use forks, but probably not one that's 21 feet tall like this one is.
So is this a Kentucky fork statue that we have back there? Is there some kind of Kentucky connection with this fork?
Well, I've always heard about the fork in the road, and turns out it's about 30 miles south of me in Franklin, Kentucky. So I won't have to make a little road trip. Heck, we could go. You might pass on your way here if you want to go off road for a little bit. I think it's off like a gravel or dirt road or something, but
I could see if Apple Maps would bring me by the fork in the road. I think that'd be great. That'd be a good sight to see. Yeah.
I actually looked up, because I know nothing about this. So I looked up an article, and the first thing that got my attention is, let me find it. It's the largest fork in the road in Kentucky. So Coleman, there's more than just one.
There's more than one, but there's an actual statue of a fork there, and it's a literal fork in the road. So it's both, or is it just a fork?
Oh, it's both.
Okay, so it's a literal fork in the road, and it's a literal fork statue.
Yeah, it says the Franklin Simpson High School erected it in May 2018. Okay. The welding class.
So that you're telling me there's multiple forks in the road in Kentucky.
Yes, that's according to this article. So the question for our viewers is, where are the other forks?
That is the question. Do you want me to guess where the other forks are throughout?
I don't even know.
Oh, you don't know. So this isn't even trivia.
I can try to find it.
Okay, well, maybe by the end of the show we can figure out where all the forks in the road. Remind me where that one is. Where's this fork in the road?
Franklin, Kentucky. It's about 30 minutes south of Bowling Green.
Okay, there you go. Or Bowling Green is how the natives say it, as you were saying on our last episode with Michael Bennett. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out our last episode with Michael Bennett, you need to go back and watch that. It was really awesome, Caden, to have him on. I thought, he's been doing it a long time, I'm sure, but he's like a natural at it. I mean, I'm sure he's had a lot of practice, but man, it was so easy to talk to him.
Yeah, the thing that got me is he was telling us a story, and he's like into orthopedic distribution or whatever. And he's like, oh, and then I decided to go on iHeart.
Yeah,
there was no lead up into that. he just made it happen. He's naming all these people, the KSR guys, and everyone.
I was doing orthopedic special work, and next thing I knew, I was doing a radio show with Kyle Macy.
I was in my iHeart interview. Yeah,
that is what I feel like that's like an interesting thing about people that tell these stories of how they got to where they are. It's like, I was just a young boy, grew up on a farm, and the next thing I knew, I was Michael Jordan. Like that's that it's like, okay, well, I'm interested in what happened between that. But that was really great to have him on. We got some people down in the comments. We got one special person down in the comments we haven't seen in a long time here on this show. Clyde Hare makes his return to Talking Kentucky. What's up, Clyde? Saying long time no see in the comments. I think, after basketball season, I think we were all a little heated. We all had our opinions about Cal or no Cal, but we're all back and we're all good and we're all Team Kentucky now.
Speaking of Clyde, this is the first person to ever call the phone line, by the way.
Clyde is the
Ever.
very first person to call the Talking Kentucky phone line. That's exactly right. And here he is making his return in the comments. So welcome back, Clyde. Good to see you. We missed you. We also got Madeline in the comments saying hello. And she's also asking, do we ever meet up in Lexington? Which that's the case, Caden. We do meet up in Lexington. We've been to some basketball games together.
Trumpet Day, basketball game.
The trumpet camp, yeah. Any of the above.
What else? Oh, I went to. Didn't I go to Frankfurt for some random reason? Then we spent a day in Lexington, or was that the basketball game? I get them mixed up.
That would have been the basketball game. Well, you don't go to Frankfurt for a random reason. You go to Frankfurt to see me. Isn't that right? I mean, that's the only reason you go to Frankfurt.
You and Lisa. I don't know anyone else in Frankfurt. So
yeah. Well, Jill in the comments as well saying hello. Mike Dow down here saying, hey guys, it's funny once I start putting the comments up on the screen, everybody makes their presence known here. Madeline is going to hunt for a fork in northern Kentucky. So
yeah, Madeline, this is hard to find. I've just done general Google searches, so let me know if you can find any other forks in the road, because there's supposedly more. But is this like a hidden thing? It's like you got to go on a treasure hunt to find the fork.
It's got to be, but that's one of my favorite things about Kentucky is I feel like there's so many random things like this in Kentucky. I mean, there's the fork. There's like a couple towns that have like giant chickens, I think. I think Bowling Green is one of the, or not Bowling Green, Bardstown, I think, has a chicken. I could be totally making
like a statue.
Yeah, like a statue. I feel like at various places, like at gas stations, apparently there's like giant statues of chickens or something like that. It's just a bunch of random things.
I've never heard of that.
Again, I could be totally making that up, but I don't think I would just make that up out of nowhere. I mean, I think that came from somewhere. I don't think I had pulled that out of thin air. Claude says there's a fork in Hamburg, but it's the fork for the bank. What bank?
A bank has a statue of a fork in front of it.
Is it Fork First Bank? Oh, Madeline has heard about the chicken. See, I'm not making this up. See, so this is the thing, Caden.
In Seabrook, there were pelicans just scattered around the town. Okay.
Well,
I guess it is a thing.
There's the horses in Lexington, the statues of the horses. So we got all that. Mike Dowd's in Northern Kentucky, so maybe he can help Madeline hunt for the fork here. So we can.
I'm not convinced there are more. I think this article's lying to us.
So you think the Franklin fork is the only fork?
That's what I'm starting to think.
Well, we'll go on a Talking Kentucky scavenger hunt here, and maybe we can go visit all the forks and take pictures in front of all the forks, and or maybe our viewers can too.
Well, it's not going to take long because it sounds like there's just one.
I'm loving. See, I'm telling you, I'm not making up this chicken stuff. Mike Dowd says there is a big rooster west of Bardstown. I told you it's called Rooster Run. See, I told you, Caden. I know my Kentucky roosters. This is true. So we got confirmation from Mike Dowd fact checking me down in the comments there. So we got forks, we got chickens, got all kinds of random stuff in Kentucky. Probably one of the many reasons I like Kentucky. But Caden, one thing that might know where the rest of the forks are in Kentucky is AI. Okay, now, are you a big AI user? Have you incorporated it into your life very much yet?
Negative.
I haven't either. People. When I was at LSU, I did a little like TA grading of some writing, and I felt like there's definitely some students that used AI for the writing because
it's like that generation right under us.
Yeah, like they definitely figured out about it, but I think you got to be clever in how you use it though, because you can't when you're using terminology that like I would use in my grad school music classes, these undergrad freshman business majors using that, it's like I'm not so sure that you actually wrote that, so I feel like you got to.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're copying off of someone beside you. Not saying I did that, but you can't just write it word for word, Coleman. You got to.
Right. You got to be smart
just
about it.
Do a couple of them or whatever.
But Caden, I think I sent this to you a while back, but I did ask AI, there's a bunch of different AIs out there. There's Snapchat, there's what is it? Chat GPT. Is that what it's called?
Oh
I
yeah.
think there's Chat GPT. But then we've got the new Meta AI, which is all over Facebook and Instagram and everything.
Oh, I
And
keep accidentally clicking that thing.
I hate, dude. It's the worst. It's like every time I just want to like look something up on Facebook, like type if I want to go to like Kentucky Sports Radio or something. If I accidentally click the little blue circle, it like enters me into a chat with AI, and it's like the worst
Yeah,
thing ever.
you gotta do calculus to figure out where the search button is.
I know. But one day I did actually want to hit the search button because I wanted to see if Meta AI knew about Talking Kentucky. And so I asked Meta AI about Talking Kentucky. And this is what it came up with. I think this is ridiculously spot on because, sometimes you put in, you ask AI something and it'll pull up like our description on Spotify or something. And it's like, okay, well, I see where it got that. It just pulled our bio or our description off of social media. And it's like not that impressive. But this, like, I didn't write this anywhere. None of this is written anywhere about us except AI. It just like came up with it. And it's ridiculous how spot on it is. So this is what Meta AI says about Talking Kentucky. Talking Kentucky is a podcast hosted by Coleman Scott and Caden Holmes, discussing various topics related to Kentucky, including sports, pop culture, and local news. They often share their opinions and perspectives on current events, trends, and issues, frequently incorporating humor and witty banter into their conversations. Some common themes and topics on the podcast include University of Kentucky sports, especially basketball and football, Kentucky high school sports, local news and events, pop culture, opinions on current events and trends, and interviews with guests, including athletes, coaches, and local media personalities. The podcast is known for its casual conversational tone, making it feel like a discussion among friends. Coleman and Caden often share personal anecdotes, debate each other on various topics, and engaged in light-hearted humor, creating
Like our
an
opinions on Starbucks.
right, yes, creating an entertaining and relatable listening experience for their audience. And I'm telling you, I think that's pretty spot on, Kate. I think they nailed it.
Yeah, part of that, I feel like they just listened to Brad's show one time whenever he's talking about what we did. He said they incorporate some. Was it him? So they incorporate humor.
Yeah. The first time I was on Brad's podcast, if you don't know Brad Harvey's podcast, College Sportscast, you should go check it out. But the first time I was on there as a guest, Brad said Coleman is from Talkin, Kentucky. They like to incorporate some humor into their podcast. And I was like, yeah, you know what we do? We are funny. So I'm glad that AI recognized that we're funny. So if AI thinks we're funny, we must be funny.
Speaking of AI, Madeline says that AI should coach basketball. Do you think AI would play a 2-3 zone?
I think
do you think AI would change it up?
In last year's Kentucky team, I think AI would have played a 2-3 zone. Yeah, I think AI would be like Mark Pope and kind of switch things up a little bit. Yeah, maybe play in Maui. Yeah, I think it would. Yeah, I would say that. Which, by the way, speaking of Meta and Instagram, for the first time ever tonight, not only are we streaming on X and Facebook and YouTube, we're also streaming on Instagram as well for the first time tonight. So the only thing about Instagram, Caden, is if anybody's commenting on Instagram right now, I can't see it because StreamYard hasn't figured out how to route Instagram's comments into our feed here. So that's the only negative. But if anybody's out there on Instagram watching, hello, we appreciate you. We just can't see your comments for the time being. I could get on my phone and see their comments. I just can't put them up on the screen. So, but
yeah, it looks like everyone's watching through Facebook right now, anyways. But
yeah,
I don't even know how Instagram works. If I'm being honest, like, do you? I don't know. Half the time I don't even have Facebook on my phone, so I'm not a very social media person these days. But
yeah, well,
it's cool that we have like 4 platforms now that we're
on. No, it's
I don't recommend it. Yeah,
I don't necessarily recommend Instagram by any means. But hey, we got some Kentucky news to get into here. Not a ton, but a little bit. But probably the biggest piece of news is Kentucky baseball's region champions. Yesterday they defeated the Indiana State Sycamores to win the Lexington Regional. They'll move on.
They beat the Larry Birds.
They beat the Larry Birds. Yeah, they beat that I can't remember what his actual name is, but they had that dude that was so good in basketball this year on Indiana State. I think somebody called him Larry Blurred. That was one name. I think we also had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was
Cream,
another
CREAM.
nickname for
Yeah.
him, which I really like. But in any case, they beat the Larry Birds or the Sycamores, whatever you want to call them, and they will play the winner of Oregon State or UC Irvine. They will host the winner in Lexington in the Super Regional.
Are those like powerhouse baseball teams?
Well, all I know is Oregon State is a 1 seed and UC Irvine is a 2 seed. That's
Oregon State
that's
1
all I
seed,
know.
man.
Yeah, Oregon State's a 1 seed. The Beavers, which I don't know. Caden, do you know anything about UC Irvine? I don't know much other than they had that like 7'6" basketball player a few years ago that was just gigantic in the tournament. I don't know if
I couldn't tell you one thing about them.
Well, I remember it was when Patina was still at Louisville because Louisville played them in the tournament, and like Louisville's point guard only came up to the dude's like hip. I mean, it was kind of hilarious. Don't think he was the most athletic person in the world, but that's what I think of when I think of UC Irvine, is that tall dude.
So, including myself, for those of us that don't know how this whole baseball tournament thing works, how would you explain it?
Well, I'm not the biggest expert either, but I do know if the Cats win in the Super Regional, they will advance to the College World Series in Omaha. And gosh, I don't know that we've ever been to the World Series actually in school history. I maybe somebody could correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe this would be the first time in school history we go to Omaha, which would be.
Do we know
exciting.
How many teams are in the World Series?
God, I think it's like 8 or something like that. It could be more. Again, I'm not
the case. We're doing pretty well. Yeah, that's the case.
It's definitely not more than 16. It might be like the Sweet 16 or something like that. It's just not called that. I don't know, but Claude says that we haven't been to the World Series before, so this would be a first, and we have won back-to-back region championships now. So I think there's something to be said for Nick Mangione and the baseball Cats. So I think that's exciting. Caden, we need some championships around here in Kentucky. After the past few years, I'll take anything. Doesn't matter if it's not basketball or football. I'll take anything.
Yeah, and recently we have been getting various sports doing well. But Coleman, I just looked it up, and you were right. 8 teams go to
it's 8 teams
to Omaha. Yep, it's a 64 team tournament. So just like March Madness, 64 teams.
Yep.
I guess now we got 68 or whatever, right? In basketball, right. All the playing games, but
something like that.
Yeah, 64. And then after 2 rounds, which each consist of multiple games, there are just 8 teams left that go to the World Series.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's the Elite 8, right? So it puts us in a pretty good category, I think. So that would be great. It's June now, Caden, which I kind of can't believe it's June, but June 1st was Kentucky's 232nd birthday. So I feel like, we can't go without saying happy birthday to Kentucky on the show. So that's, 232 years.
Josh Hart posted that in our new page.
Well, should we plug the page?
Which could be that could be a segue.
A segue for plugging the page. Yeah. If you don't know, we now obviously we have our regular Facebook page that you can go and like, our Talking Kentucky Facebook page. But now, in addition to our page, we have a group now, a Facebook group called Talking Kentucky Fans. And if you so choose, you can join the group, and it could just be a way that maybe Caden and I can interact with fans a little bit more. That obviously we interact with people on here. And throw comments up on the screen and everything, but it could be a way that we could keep the discussion going throughout the week, and we can kind of have a place that we can all talk and everything like that. So,
Coleman came to me the other day, or called me. He's like, "Caden, I think we need to." Facebook told me that we're getting enough
we're level
feedback
2
and everything.
Now,
we're level 2, whatever that means on Facebook. He said,
I don't know.
He said they're recommending us make another page. And I'm like, why in the world? What's the point of having 2 Facebook pages, Coleman? I don't know if I'm a fan of that. But then the difference is the fans can actually post like
Right.
on
People
there
can
and
post. Yeah.
like Coleman said, we can get the more discussion there. So after he said that, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
So you can just search on Facebook Talking Kentucky Fans and you'll find the group. It's public. You can join, or we also post the link to it on our Facebook page. So you could go there as well and join. Um, so just a little plug for that as well. But yeah, Josh Hart posted in that group that it was Kentucky's birthday, which I think that was the actual first post made by somebody not named Talking Kentucky in the group. So that was a good first post. It was pretty relevant to wish Kentucky a happy birthday. So
I've been trying to get our bouncer to post in there.
yeah, Cody Peevler. So I made Cody Peevler a moderator, which is basically like a bouncer. Which is I think Cody would be a really good bouncer on
Yeah.
Facebook or in real life. So
Yeah,
I think he
those
should.
Arkansas trolls will get in there and he'll he'll wipe the floor real quick with that.
Well, he basically acts as our bouncer for our page too. If somebody
We just
comes
text him and
on,
say, Cody, can you take care of this?" And he just
Cody,
says done within like
say,
10 seconds.
yeah, I was just like, Cody, we got a Cal supporter on our page. Can you go take care of that? And he's like, man, just look at the record, look at the tournament record in the last 5 years, man. Just gets on there and replies to
Yeah,
him.
he wins it every time. Yeah.
He does. Yeah. It's another little housekeeping thing here I wanted to say. Caden, do you remember last year the feed spot best sports podcast of 2023 that you must listen to? You remember that list? And we got number 23. We were like
23. Yeah.
the Michael Jordan of podcast. Well,
Yeah.
this year
I made an article about that. I remember that.
I remember that. It's talking number 23. But this year in FeedSpot's sports podcast of 2024, you must listen to, we are number 22. So we moved up one spot. Feel like that's progress. We're no longer Jordan. We're Patrick Sparks now. So yeah, I'll take that.
Did this just come out like today?
I think this came out like a couple weeks ago, and I just forgot to bring it up until now. But in any case, I'm bringing it up now because we're writing down on the topics there. So, just a little humble bragging and talking Kentucky housekeeping to kind of kick off the episode here, and everything. But I've got some non-sports topics on the list for tonight because I feel like, Caden, to start off the summer, we kind of had a lot of busyness going on in Kentucky athletics still. I mean, we had a women's basketball coaching search. We had a men's basketball coaching search. And we've had a lot of football recruiting news and obviously basketball since Mark Pope had to basically build a roster from ground zero. So, we've had a lot going on, but I think we're finally getting to the point where everything sort of calmed down. And like it's getting into the dog days of summer here, which is a good excuse for us to do what we do best, and that's to talk about ridiculous topics that don't matter. So we'll talk about a little bit of that tonight as well. But we were talking a little bit in the last episode about Will Riley, this kid, this basketball kid that might be roster spot number 13 for us. And Caden, you said you were gonna do a little bit more research on Will Riley. Do you have anything else to add? I have a couple things, but
you start, Coleman.
Well, so I know that he's Canadian to start off, which I think that's good, right? Because we've had Jamal Murray was Canadian, right? And he was pretty good. And we've probably had some other good Canadians too, right? I think we've had other Canadians on the team. Wait, was Scalabissiere Canadian? I feel like he was, wasn't he?
No, he was. Wasn't he from? Scal was from Haiti, right?
Was he?
Because remember the earthquake? I thought. I could be wrong, though.
Caden says he's in your DMs, or Cody says he's in your DMs. Caden.
Is he wanting me to check this?
I guess so. But oh look, did he send something funny?
No, I just asked him something earlier and he responded.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, feel free to share with
Thanks.
the rest
Thanks
of the
for
class.
Thanks for. No, it probably shouldn't be.
That's okay. Yeah.
It probably shouldn't be shared.
Okay. Well, we can keep it between us for now. But
It's nothing
Wildcat
bad.
Country.
It's nothing bad.
Okay. Well, I totally believe you. Okay. Wildcat Country, Big Blue Nation says Caden with the fork in the road from Franklin, Kentucky. Hey, how about that call? He recognized the fork in the road just from the top half of the fork there coming in.
Oh, Wildcat Country. Yeah, me and Cody
Yeah.
actually met him the other day. Did I
Okay.
tell
Now
you about this, Coleman?
this isn't, you haven't told me about this yet, and this is not on the topics list, but I feel like we need to talk about this because this is a good opportunity, you know, that he's on the show here. So I remember you left me a voicemail and you
We
said,
started
so
with Will Riley, and now we're talking about. Yeah, we met
yeah,
him at the Meyer here in Bowling Green. Like,
okay.
me and Cody are looking for something for grilling. I don't even know what it was, but someone tapped me on the shoulder, and they're like, "Hey, I'll watch you." And I had a hat on like this, and I was thinking, how do they even know it was me? But he's super
Wait,
nice guy, and he's got thousands of followers too, right? Wildcat Country.
were you wearing your Talking Kentucky hat or were you wearing
No,
your
I
a
had just a
different hat?
UK hat on. Yeah, I
So
guess I always wear a hat for the show, so it's obvious to me. But
right, it's oh yeah, it's all everybody knows it's good. So so I guess you're just that famous then, if he actually recognized you. So we've been waiting for the moment that this was going to happen. So you're telling me that you were in Meyer and somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I'll watch you."
yeah, but it
Did
was
you?
Wildcat Country, who's more famous than we are.
Well, I mean, I don't care who it is, you know, the fact that we're famous. But well, hey, I'm glad Wildcat Country's in here, and I'm glad you met him and everything. I'm sure, is his actual name Wildcat Country, or does he have a different? He probably has a different name. I would say that was probably not on his birth certificate.
I would say I don't even know if I had asked for his name, so I don't remember. If you told me your name, Wildcat Country, I'm so sorry, I forgot. But you should type it in the chat so we can remember.
Hey, there was somebody in my high school band, and we called him Big Country. And I don't know his real name. I never did know his real name. I just know that's Big Country. As far as I was concerned, his first name is Big, his last name is Country, and he played the saxophone. You know, that's all. That's all I knew.
That's all you
So
need to know. Yeah.
doesn't matter. But anyway, back to Canadians. Jamal McGlure was a Canadian. Mike Dowd says. Anyway, Will Riley is Canadian, so I feel like we have a good history with Canadians with Kentucky men's basketball. He is going to visit Kentucky tomorrow, Caden. Tomorrow, as in Tuesday, June the 4th. He is visiting Illinois today, and he's visiting Alabama on Wednesday. So he's going to be choosing between Kentucky, Alabama, and Illinois. I personally think he should come to Kentucky.
It sounds like it's going to be happening soon.
It sounds like it. I mean, he's going to be on campus tomorrow, and you know, Pope will pick him up from the airport. His wife will bake him some chocolate chip cookies, and I feel like that's the best selling point you can have, honestly.
No Keeneland though. Keeneland's not going on right now, right? Are we out of season?
Think so. I think we're out of Keeneland season, yeah, because it's June now. I think they ended in April, so I think we're done. I think we're done with Keeneland. Yeah, he's. But in any case, I'm sure Mark Pope will find something fun to do with him. If you were Mark Pope, where would you take Will Riley in Lexington? Like, if you just got a free day, money is no object. You know, UK is going to pay for it. You're Mark Pope. You're driving around a limousine with Will Riley. Where are you taking him?
The Arboretum.
Are you taking him to the Arboretum? Okay.
It's a done deal.
Yeah,
no, I'll take him to that. Where's that? What's that one? Well, he's not 21. Never mind. I was going to say it's like that. There's that beer garden there. What was it called? Was it Native Cat? Or
Kentucky
no?
Native Cafe. Yeah, you're
Kentucky
right.
Native Cafe. That was a cool place.
That's cool. Yeah, we could take him.
I guess I could still go. He just couldn't get a beer.
So far, that's okay. He can get like an $8 price. Yeah, I think we're getting a call already. This show is like crazy so far. I think this is Josh Hart here, which we're gonna see if these phone lines work. You are on with Talking Kentucky. Who's this?
Hey, it's Josh. What's going on, guys?
What's up, Josh? How's it going?
Hello?
Oh crap. Josh, can you hear
Hello?
me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going, man?
That's good. I haven't called in a while. Seeing that you guys are on. What are you doing on so early on a Monday too?
I know it was kind of spontaneous. We're on a Monday. Well, I'm going to be on the road to Kentucky actually on Thursday. So, and Caden was free tonight, so we just thought we'd come on here and do a little spontaneous talking Kentucky on a Monday.
That's cool. That's all right.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a little spontaneous show.
No, absolutely not.
I really haven't got a chance to watch because I'm at work today, but
Man,
I didn't get a chance to really have to watch the show, so I don't know what y'all been talking about.
Well, man,
Hey, ask him if he's got any fork in the roads out there.
Yeah, do you have any? Caden wants to know if you have noticed any forks in the road in Kentucky, because in Caden's background, he's got the giant fork in Franklin, Kentucky. So I was wondering if you've seen that fork or any other forks, because apparently there's multiple in Kentucky.
Like a big fork, a real fork, or just
we're talking 21 feet.
We're talking like a 21-foot sculpture of a fork, but then also at the base of the fork, there's a fork in the road, like an actual fork in the road.
Okay. No, I've not seen that. I've seen forks in the road, but not a real fork.
I was going to say, I got one at my house.
I've seen his background. So.
Yeah, no, that's but no, man, you've been all over the place. You've been up in is it Montana or Minnesota that you?
No, I was in Prior Lakes, Minnesota. Now I'm in Center, Texas, and getting drowned out every day. All it does is rain and thunder and lightning and power outages, and it's been nasty since we've been here in Texas.
No, that's how it is, man. Down here in Baton Rouge too. I feel like it's storm afternoon. I feel like that's just something you deal with in the South. But yeah, so Minnesota to Texas. Where are you off to next from here?
Arizona.
Arizona, man. You're going all over the place, man.
I'm
glad you're back and you're back to work and everything.
Yeah, and I'm feeling pretty good finally. It took me a while to get back in work shape, but it's all good now. But we have a lot of good stuff going on for all our programs, and really happy what's going on with overall with Big Blue Nation. You know, with basketball, girls and the girls side and the men's side. You know, baseball's doing well. We're in the regional finals or whatever it is, and playing well there.
Yeah, we're just talking about that. Yeah,
a lot of people talking about our football team. A lot of coaches out there scared of Kentucky, and that's something I'm not used to. Is teams being scared of Kentucky football. So that's a good plus.
That is good plus. No, yeah, that's.
I seen one comment the other day said something about one coach said anonymously that they think that Kentucky has one of the best, if not the best, defensive line front four in the SEC, maybe even college football.
Yeah, and that's going to make all the difference. I think that's what we've been lacking in is winning the battle up front in the past couple of years. That's been the difference in our record. So I feel like we can take a step forward in that direction this year, Josh. I feel like that's going to be huge for us.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Mark Pope got to the Final Four his first year with this squad he's got assembled, it would just show you how bad the former coach, I won't say his name because I'm tired of talking about it, is. I mean, he should have left probably 4 or 5 years ago, but it's all good. We have hope in Pope, and we're moving forward, and I think he's done a really good job. I mean, we got more on our roster than Arkansas does, so that's all I care about.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, man, thanks for calling in. It's good to hear from you. I'm glad you could call in tonight, and we know you're out there listening, even when you can't call in. So,
yeah, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the show. It's a great show. Can't believe it's been 2 years for you already. That's amazing. So,
it's flown by.
Just growing bigger and bigger, and hopefully get more people tuned in to this good show, because y'all don't just talk about sports. You talk about stuff, different stuff. Kentucky stuff
and then
holidays and stuff like that. So it's just not about sports. It's about, a little bit about sports and a little bit about life.
It's not about sports. It's about forks. That's right. Well, thanks for calling in, man. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Go Big Blue.
Go Big Blue. Well, Caden, I guess the calls worked there. So we got a call before I had time to talk about this, but we're trying a new thing with our calls. We're trying to pipe them in through the stream rather than having to hold an iPad up to a microphone, which is how we're doing it before. At first I thought we were going to have the same problem that we've had before, where the caller can't hear me when we try to do that. But then he heard us, Caden. So I think it was all good.
Yeah, they heard you. Is that another call coming in?
See, we haven't even opened the phone. We got to figure out a way to close the phone lines now. That's what we got to have next. I'm guessing this is Clyde Hare, but you're on with Talkin Kentucky. Who's this?
Hello, it's Clyde.
What's up, Clyde, man? It's been a minute since we heard from you.
Yeah, it has. I would like to apologize.
You're all good, man. You're all good. Everybody gets worked up during basketball season sometimes.
I want to specifically apologize to Josh and Caden and Caden's brother and even Cody. I came at you guys so hard, and I let my love for Cal, which I don't really love him anymore, but because I love Mark Pope. But anyways, I just want to say I'm sorry. I let my stubbornness and my emotions get the best of me, and it affected our relationship with all of us in a way. And I laughed because I got so mad. And it was the night after we lost to LSU in basketball, and I guess
that was a tough loss, man.
Yeah,
I was there. I was at that game, man. That was a tough loss. Yeah, the buzzer beater and everything, especially after Dillingham hit that shot and everything. Mm-hmm. Man, that was a tough loss and everything. But no, man, I promise you, it's all good. We're all good. We're all we're all in on the Cats moving forward and everything. But you said you're sold on Mark Pope now. You don't even remember who John Calipari is anymore.
No, I don't. We don't talk about that guy no more. He don't even matter. He really does not matter. All he is a smooth talker. He's a used car salesman. Is exactly what he is. But Josh, if you're listening, buddy, I see that you still have me blocked on Facebook. Hopefully, you can unblock me and because I miss you, Josh. You're a good dude. I love you. I don't know if you're still upset because I haven't talked to you since, I guess, March or February, whenever that LSU game was. It was the last time I spoke to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of February. And I love Pope. I love his energy. I love his high motor. And you got to give his off-season grade an A+ just because of everything he did in a short amount of time. He was able to gel a full roster basically and a coach staff, and he just added 2 more people today. No, 3 more people today to the staff.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job and everything. Do y'all have a group chat?
No group chat right now. We got the group. We got the group on. Oh crap! We got the group on Facebook now. We got the group, the Facebook group now. So that's kind of our hub now. Yeah. So definitely join that. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, man, for calling in. We really appreciate it, and it's good to hear from you again. Glad you're back in the comments.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm not going anywhere this time. I'm officially back. I miss you guys, and can't wait to talk to you all during football season as well. And let's see what these back cats do, and I'm going to get back in the comments. Well,
Sounds good, man. All right. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir.
All right, Caden. We got 2 calls before we open the phone lines, but that's how it is. But what were we talking about? Will Riley?
Will Riley. Yes.
Okay. All right.
He is
anyway.
highly rated small forward, and it looks like he is a straight up scorer.
So this is that sounds good to me.
Fadeaways, he's long, finished the rim.
Yeah,
he's got that. It's got that SGA in him. I feel like, except the small forward version. We talked about someone making it look easy. He seems to make it look easy.
Well, Jackson Robinson, right? We were talking about Jackson.
Yeah, Robinson. Jackson Robinson. That's who we were talking about. Yeah,
he kind of reminds me of SGA. I haven't heard him called SGA before, but I guess that's a little easier than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Read it all out there. But so one thing I wanted to bring up about Will Riley is, I mean, like that dude is like that dude's good. Like he could get legit minutes, and he could be like our, toward the end of the bench, one of the worst players on the team, or least good players on the team, right? Yeah. I know we might not have the star talent that we've had with Cal teams in the past, but man, I sure feel like we're deeper, don't you?
Deeper and more experienced. And even another comparison, I'm not saying he's going to be this good, but kind of got that Kevin Durant, kind of long, lanky, pure scorer. So
yeah,
it would only help. It'd be nice to have those freshmen like that on top of, all the experienced guys.
So wouldn't you rather have a team like that that's basically 13 men deep, instead of having just these like random, just Cal's friends, dad walk-ons at the end of the bench? I mean, not that they're bad basketball players. I mean, you got to be good to even walk on at Kentucky, obviously, but like we weren't going to start Grant Derbyshire at point guard,
right? No, I love it. And the perfect formula is being 13 deep and having 2 or 3 highly rated burger boys.
That's right.
I think that's the perfect formula.
That's the key. And that's basically what UConn has done with Dan Hurley. That's what he's trying to do. It's the same model Mark Pope's trying to set up, in my opinion. Wildcat Country says, why do all the trees in Kentucky lean southwest? Because Arkansas sucks.
And Indiana blows.
That's right. He also says, one positive thing about Coach Pope's first year, he can't really do much worse than what Cal managed to do in the past 5 seasons. Yeah, and that's what I've heard about everybody saying, well, it's going to be hard to find somebody that can replace Calipari, which, yeah, it's going to be hard to find somebody to replace Calipari's first half, his first 5 to 10 years. But Cal's last 5 years, we can pretty much replace him with anybody in the country and be just as good. So
yeah, and Pope, I say this, but Pope understands what I'm about to say too. I don't think just being better than Cal's last 5 years is going to cut it. I don't think just making it to the second round for the next few years or third round is going to cut it. Like I think Kentucky has a standard, and second or third round, which is better than we have in the last 5 years, that's still not good enough. Don't you agree?
Oh, but yeah.
With that being said, Pope understands the assignment.
He understands the assignment. What's that? I'm not on TikTok, but there's that TikTok song. I understood the assignment. Something like that.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think of every time somebody says that. But if you don't have a TikTok, it comes up on Reels and all that crap. So inevitably,
even Brother Bobby found a way to get in a sermon a few weeks ago.
He got TikTok into his sermon?
No, I wouldn't say TikTok.
Okay.
He used the word assignment.
He got assignment. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to understand the assignment like Mark Pope.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
So yeah, it's everywhere.
Well, Josh mentioned that we don't just talk about sports on this show. We talk about a lot of different things. We talk about ridiculous topics as well, especially in the summer. So one place I go for that, for these ridiculous topics, is Huffington Post. So these are the Huffington Post, Caden, posted earlier today, 11 foods that don't go bad. And as somebody that's moving and trying to figure out what I should take with me and what I should throw out, I feel like this was a helpful list. Okay, now I want to see how many of these you can guess. There's 11 foods. and some of them are like more ingredients than foods, but that don't go bad. And I want to see how many of these you or anybody else in the comments can guess. So
I'm gonna say number one. This is very general statement, but canned anything doesn't go bad.
Well, I would agree with that, but it's not on this list. Canned anything is not on the list.
But there are canned items on the list, right?
There are actually, I don't think there are canned items on the list. I think all these either come in a bag or some kind of bottle or something like that, or packaging. Yeah, but I wouldn't say any cans.
What about ramen? Does ramen go bad?
Ramen is not on this list. That's one that I probably would put on this list, but it's surprisingly not.
Mac and cheese.
I feel like mac and cheese could go bad with the cheese, right?
I guess so. I don't know. It's already powder, right?
Well, if you're talking about the powder mac and cheese,
there's no telling what they put in it to make it not go bad.
Madeline says sugar, which that's on the list. So Madeline got the first one here. Sugar is number 7 on the list.
What about flour? That probably goes bad.
Flour does go bad. That's not
salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Salt. So I'm gonna give you credit for that one. The pepper's not on here, but salt is on here. Mike Dowd
it said watermelon.
Watermelon definitely goes bad. Watermelon goes bad, Clyde. I would say
it's like saying milk doesn't go bad.
Yeah. Mike Dowd says peanut butter. It's not on this list, Mike. Peanut butter might be good for a long time, but it didn't make the Huffington Post list. Madeline says salt, which I guess Caden already said salt and pepper. So we already got that checked off.
Pocket Country said honey. Honey gets really clumpy though if you have it in your cabinet for like a year.
But you know what's number 1 on the list, Caden, is honey. Wildcat Country got it right. Number 1 on the list. He even said number 1 has to be honey. It never spoils. But
no, that's what I said. It gets clumpy. That's what I was talking about. Is honey.
It gets clumpy. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it gets clumpy. Like I don't understand that one because it might.
How do you declump it though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You put it in the microwave?
Just spread out the clumps and everything. I don't understand that one because it might not go bad, but I feel like it's not usable necessarily, right? I feel like even if it doesn't go bad, if it's all clumpy, you can't use it. But nevertheless, it is number 1 on the list. So props to Wildcat Country there.
Any kind of seasoning too. I feel like it doesn't necessarily go bad. It just kind of loses its flavor. I've been talking to Cody recently about different barbecue rubs, and he's like, well, just shake it up and it's good to go.
Jonathan says, what kind of honey are you boys eating that goes clumpy? Any kind of honey. Every honey I've ever bought goes clumpy at some point, Caden.
Yep.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? Especially if you get like the all natural, like local honey, like good honey, it's gonna get clumpy at some point.
I completely agree. Madeline says spaghetti noodles. Yeah, 10 years. Madeline says spaghetti noodles. That's another good one. But that's basically what I meant by mac and cheese. I just didn't think about the cheese part of it.
Spaghetti noodles are not on here. Actually, no pasta is on here. So I guess at some point pasta probably goes bad, even the dried pasta.
What does it get moldy after like 10 years?
I would think so. Yeah, at some point. I feel like it's just the grain in it. Probably.
We can put it in the fridge.
That's probably gets you 12 years or so. Madeline says tea. No, not tea.
Oh, tea goes bad.
Y'all got to think more like ingredients than food.
Oh, we're still going?
Oh yeah, we're still going. We've only gotten 3 of them. Madeline says cornstarch. Yes, cornstarch is number 6. So Madeline's on a roll here. She's
what about peanuts? Does that go bad?
Peanuts aren't on the list. I feel like they would go bad at some point. They'd probably get moldy.
Takes a while.
It would take a while, but we're not talking about a while. We're talking about forever here. We're talking about foods that never go bad.
All right, I got one. Water.
Okay. Water's not on the list. Water's not a food. I don't think water's a food, right? Water is water.
It's an ingredient.
It is an ingredient.
Can be an ingredient.
It can be.
Jonathan, like 90% of our body is made of water.
Jonathan says, someone told me apple cider vinegar doesn't go bad. It's not apple cider vinegar, but it's white vinegar. So I'm going to give that to you. White vinegar doesn't go bad here. Mike Dowd coming in with 2 here. He says syrup, maple syrup is number 11, and beans, specifically.
I don't know.
Beans.
Syrup?
Well, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the list here. I'm not the Huffington
I said
Post.
I said can, Coleman. He said beans.
Yep. So, well, no, dried beans. Dried beans aren't going to be in a can. So dried beans.
Who gets dried beans?
I get dried beans sometimes. I put some red beans and rice, some pinto. But you ever make soup beans with cornbread and salt and stuff?
I thought that's canned.
That's not canned. You get pinto beans. You put them in some water, another ingredient, and you let them soak in there.
Well, when I get pinto beans, I get canned pinto beans.
Madeline's on roll. I'm telling you here. She may have found an article or something. Rice is number 2. She's on roll here. I'm telling you, nailing it here. So we got 2 left. Well, actually, we got 3 left, and I feel like all 3 of these are going to be hard to get. But Kaden, one of them.
Oh, that's a good point. Pure maple syrup from trees, so of course it doesn't go bad.
Yeah, it says maple syrup, so I guess
it's probably all the preservatives they put in it before they give it to us. It's what makes it go bad.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Okay, the last 3 here. I don't know if anybody's going to get. My wife says powdered milk. Mike Dowd says. It's not powdered milk, but you're on the right track there.
Protein powder.
Well, it's instant. No, it's not protein powder either. It's a type of powder, so it's like instant, but instant coffee. It says never goes bad. So coffee beans definitely go bad, Caden. I feel like after even a month, like I can tell a big difference in how the coffee tastes. So I feel like that goes bad. Jonathan brings up a good point here. Preservatives make stuff not go bad. Okay. And he also says preservatives.
I meant something else. What was the word I'm thinking of?
Yeah,
additives. Maybe I meant additives.
It's probably all the preservatives in it that make it go bad. It's probably all the preservatives.
Hey, scratch the additives, Jonathan.
Claude
Thank you, Jonathan.
Claude, eggs go bad in like a week. Like watermelon and eggs, they go. Claude, I'm concerned what's in Claude's fridge, Caden. I feel like is there just a bunch of moldy?
It doesn't smell good in Clyde's fridge.
It's gotta not. He also says corn. Nope, corn also goes bad for sure. But Mike Dowd says
sometimes on this show it's hard to think before you talk.
It is. Sometimes it is. Preservatives. Anyway, we got 2 left here. I'm just gonna name them off here. Vanilla extract doesn't go bad. So there's that.
That's surprising.
And hard liquor doesn't go bad. Apparently,
I believe that.
So
it just gets better with time, doesn't it?
It does. It ages like fine wine. So we got. I'll read off the final list here. We got honey, rice, white vinegar, vanilla extract, salt, cornstarch, sugar, hard liquor, dried beans, instant coffee, and maple syrup. That is your 11 Talkin Kentucky things that don't go bad. So if you got any of those things in your fridge, don't throw them away because it's not bad. But if you have watermelon or eggs in your fridge, definitely throw those away. And if you have maple syrup with preservatives, then you can keep that too because it preserves them. So it's probably all the preservatives that could go bad. I'm gonna have to make a reel out of that and post it. It's
no thanks.
Preservatives. But in any case here, moving on. So that's your 11 things that don't go bad. Another story I saw this morning. on USA Today, Caden, was in Cincinnati, which we've all heard of, University of Cincinnati. There was a tiger sighting on the campus of the University of Cincinnati. It's one thing on LSU's campus because we have Mike the Tiger in the enclosure and everything, but apparently somebody saw a tiger walking around campus at the University of Cincinnati, called the police, and they're investigating. They have not found a tiger, and the zoo says all their tigers are safe and sound at the zoo. So, Caden, do you think there is a tiger on the loose in Cincinnati?
I think someone had a little too much to drink. Thought it was a tiger. That's what I think.
Well, you would have to respond to it, though. I feel like if you are the police and somebody calls in and says, "I just saw a tiger," like you can't just ignore it, right? You got to at least like investigate it.
What's the law on having like a pet tiger? Like I know, was it Mike Tyson who had one?
I think so. Yeah.
Is
like
it state? Is it a state by state basis?
I would
exotic animals.
I don't know that any state would be okay with having a pet tiger. Like I don't think tigers are domesticated, but I mean I could be wrong.
Didn't Mike Tyson literally have a pet tiger? He could do it. He got away with it.
Yeah, he's Mike Tyson though. He'll just beat you up if you try to arrest him. So, Madeline says this means the Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. Well, it could.
See, Mike agrees with me. It was a drunk that saw it.
It probably was. I don't know if that's confirmed or if that's a prediction. But yeah, I feel like, I guess, what's the percentage chance? Wildcat Country says somebody was eating their Frosted Flakes in bourbon. Well, bourbon doesn't go bad. But what's the percentage chance that somebody actually saw a tiger?
I'll give it about 5.
See, a tiger walk, and we know it's not from the zoo. So
could have been a big dog. You never know.
This would somebody mistook a tiger for a dog,
or like a bear walking on 4 legs. I'd believe a bear over a tiger.
A tiger's very specific though. You got the stripes. I feel like you would know. Like I would be more apt to mistake a dog for a bear or a bear for a dog than a tiger for a dog. Because you got the bright orange,
or a mountain lion or something, maybe.
Could be, but that's a lion. See, it still doesn't have the stripes, so that's what's confusing to me. So, yeah, I feel like if it's not from the zoo, I think the chances of somebody seeing a tiger in Cincinnati is probably less than 1%. I would have to see. Jonathan says he saw a monkey on a trail camera once. Do you know anything about this, Caden? It's your brother.
I do know something about it.
Okay. Monkey on a trail camera.
It looked very much like a monkey, but it was probably a deer's butt.
And hey, Madeline's up from near Cincinnati, and she says it's all over the news up there. I guess the TV stations are taking it seriously. So I guess.
But is there any footage?
There's no footage of a lot of things. There's no footage of Bigfoot.
There's a reason for that, Coleman.
Well, you don't know. It could have been Bigfoot walking around Cincinnati. Maybe it was Bigfoot.
I believe aliens are real way before I believe there's a tiger walking around Cincinnati.
Yeah. Wildcat Country says Jerry Springer was from Cincy, so that in itself tells us all we need to know. But yes, we'll try to keep you up to date on the tiger situation in Cincinnati. Maybe our Northern Kentucky natives, Madeline and Mike Dowd, could also keep us up to date on it, but we shall see. Last topic I have here that we'll talk about as I'll officially open up the phone lines now that we've gotten 2 calls, in case anybody wants to call in before we get out of here. We're hitting the hour mark here, but wanted to open up the phones in case anybody else wanted to call. 502-234-1504. We don't bite. Give us a shout. Nick Robinson was named Director of Operations for Kentucky basketball, Caden, which I guess is kind of a GM position, which is something that I think we've all felt like has been needed for a few years. Do you think that in this age of sort of the transfer portal and recruiting and NIL and everything, do you think it's going to help to have somebody in sort of an administrative position kind of overseeing operations like that.
Coleman, you cut out a little bit in the first half of that. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was talking about how Nick Robinson was hired as the director of operations for Kentucky basketball, and how we have kind of been wanting a position like that for some time now. And in this era of NIL and transfer portal and everything, do you think that's going to be helpful for us?
Of course it will be. I wouldn't want to do the job though. But it's important that we have someone to handle that. So is that going to be his main focus? Are those two things, NIL and transfer portal?
Mm-hmm. I would assume so. I haven't looked into the.
Did we really not have someone director of operations before him, or was it titled just something different?
It may have been titled something different, maybe associate to the head coach or something like that. But I don't think we've had somebody truly in an administrative position like this that's kind of acting as almost a general manager, which I think we definitely need. And Madeline says it here, we need someone to manage NIL, which is absolutely true. But no, I think that's going to be helpful too. But anybody else that wants to call in, last call for calls here, 502-234-1504. Mike Dowd says a few years ago, there was an alligator found in a creek bed up here in the Cincinnati area. Someone had one as a young gator that outgrew them and they turned it loose. So I guess and Madeline says she had a coyote on her deck.
Those are a little different than a tiger.
Coyote?
Or the alligator. Do you hear that story about the shark that they found, the great white they found, or maybe it was a tiger shark, like halfway up the Mississippi River?
Tiger again. Yes, I did hear about that. Yeah, but I can believe that though.
That's way before the tiger thing, unless it came from a zoo. But it sounds like the zoos don't know anything about this. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm not buying it.
It is wild seeing a tiger. I mean, you could even, it's unlikely, but to see an alligator, definitely a coyote, or even a shark in the Mississippi River, it's like you can kind of see how it can happen. But yeah, a tiger, it's like it's in freaking Africa or something like that. It's pretty crazy. It's like, what is this? So, Lisa Marie Scott says, I saw a fox twice. Yeah, Caden, when my mom was down here visiting in Baton Rouge, we saw a fox. We saw the same fox twice, and I'd never seen a fox before. But this fox came right up to me like a dog and looked at me in the eye. Have you ever seen a fox in person?
In person, but it would just be crossing the road or something. They're usually pretty shy.
Yeah, I feel like they are pretty shy. Yeah, are they like predators, or do they eat? Are they herbivores? I don't know the right term for this, but when the fox came up to me, I was wondering if I should be scared. I guess like is the fox going to attack me, or is it a friendly fox?
I mean, unless they got rabies, they're probably pretty friendly. Would never even mess with you.
So it's not, a fox isn't just going to like attack me then?
I wouldn't say so. It's probably similar to a raccoon. Unless there's something wrong with them, you probably have nothing to worry about.
Madeline Hodges says, are we going to have these twice a week meetings on a regular? Probably not. Madeline will probably stick to the 1 week now. In football and basketball season, we'll do post games and stuff in addition to our regular episodes. So yes, during basketball and football season, but right now,
and this isn't twice a week this week. We're doing it today just because we can't do it later this week. So
yeah, I'm going to be on the road on Thursday, so we're doing this in lieu of a Thursday episode. So the next time we see you all will probably be next Thursday night. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So it'll be a minute before we see y'all, but glad we could jump on here today. And it's a good way to kind of close out the episode, Caden. I feel like there was a lot going on in this episode. I feel like a lot happened. But once again, when we talk about the random topics, like stuff that didn't go bad in your fridge, that's what everybody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about. Or forks. Nobody wants to talk about Kentucky basketball. Everybody wants to talk about, watermelon and cornstarch. So that's what we got. But Madeline's disappointed that we're not going to be on twice a week. Well, eventually you know, if Kate and I can do this full time, you know, we'll jump on a radio. We'll jump on a radio show. You know, we'll be full time. We'll be trumpet players by day, full time sports podcasters by night, or vice versa. So, Caden, what do we name this episode?
I'm going with Talking Fork.
I mean, you called it right from, you know, the downbeat of the episode. You said Talking Fork.
I wasn't sure if it came through or not. So
I think it's the only thing we can call it. I mean, you got a giant fork behind you, so I think that's the only thing you can say. I wanted to throw this comment up here. I didn't want to gloss over it from earlier. We had somebody who was talking about your hat, so I want to be sure we threw that up here.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I was going to say something about that.
Yeah, Braden Dunn. You know this guy, or just a random dude? Is this just a fan?
He looks familiar, but I don't know. I don't know if I met him.
Well, if you do know him, now he's pissed. He said, Caden, I got that hat signed in 2012.
You set me up for that.
Sorry. Caden, I got that hat signed at 2012 at a Reds game by Coach Kell. I'm selling it right now. Oh, hey. Wonder how much you get for a Coach Cal signed No One Greater hat. Probably a lot.
Cal was at a Reds game?
Yeah, that's the bigger question here. Why Cal at a Reds game? Well.
Have you had any hits, Braden? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah. And, you know,
also, I'm curious how much you're selling that for.
Yeah, should we up the prices of our hats? But Pete McGregor says almost missed it. Well, you pretty much did miss it, Pete, because we're about to wrap it up. But you can go back and watch for sure, and we'll catch you next time. But well, for Coleman Scott, for Caden Holmes, and for the fork in the background, Caden, it's episode 97. We're getting close to episode 100. We're gonna have to do something special for episode 100. You know,
is that going to be a tier list or a bracket or a?
It's gonna be something
else entirely.
It's gonna be the centennial celebration, so we'll have to do something for it. Danny Morris with the traditional Go Cats here at the end of the episode, and that'll do it. Well, for Coleman Scott, for Caden Holmes, and for Forks, this has been episode number 97 of Talkin' Kentucky, and we'll see you guys next time. Go Cats!